Today we're installing a bunch of upgrades on our Furitek Furywagon FX118. I'm actually getting this thing ready for a crawler event at a local hobby store. Shout out to Reckless Hobbies in Wareham, Massachusetts. And I want to get the Furywagon done up with the new upgrade so I can take it out on the comp course while I'm there. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to go through these upgrades that Furitek sent us, and we're going to see how much better we can make this thing, which is already pretty impressive. So what we're going to do first is get some baseline runs and some measurements with the Furywagon as it is. Then we'll check out the upgrades, redo the tests, and see what kind of gains we made. So let's kick it off with a look at the Furywagon as it is right now. So the primary thing I'm going to be trying to improve in the Furywagon is its weight distribution. But let's test out the side hill and the vertical too while we're doing this. $45. Lose it just at 50 on the side hill. It's 55, 59, 60. It's about 62 on the vertical. So the weight distribution is what I'm looking at for the most part here. So as it sits right now, we're at 54% front, 46% rear, total weight of about 511 grams. That's with the battery in it. So we're really going to be trying to shift that weight towards the front with the upgrades that we got now and optimistically boost performance all around. So it's been a while since I featured the Furywagon on the channel, so let me give you guys a baseline of where it's at right now and how it performs with just the wheels and tires and the tweaks that I've done. Got this thing dialed in pretty well. The Venom motor's running smooth. And these OGRC comp pin tires, these are a nice tire. They're about 64 millimeters tall, I believe, but they have a dual stage foam in them. And they seem to work really well. Combined with the Little Guy Racing Parts vented wheels, which are fairly heavy themselves, this combo helped a lot just doing this small upgrade. Stuck here, there we go. Oh, I forgot I did one more thing too. I got brass hexes in the front, heavy brass hexes. They're not extensions, but it just gives a little more weight. Whoa, just sticks that line to get up the escalator. Some side hill across the chute. Leaning pretty hard there. Am I going to stick it? Oh, I think so. Whoa! Barely. And Hell's Gate. Struggled a little bit over that section right there, but still able to stick it and make it up there. So I think those are some good benchmarks. Now we can hit the bench and check out the upgrades that we got and see how much they weigh, what we can expect for performance, and then we'll come back and do all this again and see how they translate into real world performance on the course. So, Let's go check them out. So here's what we got today. Let's take a look. We'll start from my right to left here. So to begin, we have high clearance stainless steel links and an aluminum skid plate. Let's take a look at these. It's that nice skid right there. Black anodized aluminum. It's got the Furitek logo on the bottom. These are heavy. Nice. Oh, and put the pivot hardware in too. This is going to be a bit of a project. Put these together. Alright, there we have it. So we do have a complete set of linkage here, uppers and lowers, front and rear. They are going to take a bit of assembly. Like I said, you do have to put them all together, including putting in the pivot hardware. But these are nice, thick stainless links. They've got a good, heavy feel to them. That bend in the rear is going to give us nice high clearance. Slight bend in the front. These links are pretty stubby in the front, so we're not going to gain a whole lot here, but this setup will give us some more weight down low. Next up, I'm excited for these. We've got some brass upgrades, portal covers. Oh yeah. So this is a complete set of portal covers, front and rear. And we have the inner portal covers as well, although these are not brass. These are aluminum. These are nice and light. The portal covers themselves, these are heavy. It almost feels like there's two different weights here. There is kind of two heavy ones there and two lighter ones. So put the heavy ones on here first. About 28 grams for the pair with these ones. 24 grams for the lighter version. So not a huge difference, but it is noticeable. What I'm probably going to do with these is just put the fronts on. I don't know if I'll use the rears. I want to keep that weight towards the front. So I think I'll put this complete set in the front and probably just save these for another project. Next up, we've got a bearing kit. So I think to keep the cost competitive with the FX118, Furitek used bushings in this from the factory, but they've got this, looks like a complete bearing kit that we can swap in here. Now, bearing conversions are something that I learned from the TRX4M, make a pretty significant difference. So I'm actually pretty excited to start working my way through this and putting the bearings in. I don't know how deep I'll get in this video, but as I'm working on this build, I will definitely be swapping out the bushings for bearings. This conversion can really help with reducing torque twist and just creates for a much more efficient drivetrain. And then finally, we got some more stainless steel goodies here. To round out our linkage, we've got a full set of stainless steel steering linkage. So just like the links underneath, this has to be all built. I'm happy to see this because I'm a big fan and a big proponent of reinforced steering linkage. I think those composite links up front just lead to sloppy steering, and I'm looking forward to tightening that up with this stainless steel kit. So I'm going to start tearing down the Fury Wagon. We're going to install these upgrades, and then we're going to see what we get for outcomes when we get it all put together. So here we go. Let's get after it. All right, my friends, here's the upgraded Fury Wagon. So all the upgrades went on really well. It wasn't that painful. The only really tedious part was just building out the links, but everything went on there really nice. Once they were assembled, they were really easy to put together. So we've got the aluminum Furitek skid here. Our stainless links, upper and lower, front and back. One thing that did happen while I was testing this, I actually broke my front drive shaft. So right now this is running a RC all-wheel drive stainless front shaft on it until I can get a Furitek replacement. Up front we did that stainless steering linkage. I really like the stainless links up front. Tightens up that steering, no slop in there or flex whatsoever. And then inside the wheels here, we have those aluminum inner portal covers, and we've got the brass outer portal covers to give us some good weight up there in the front. I did find out that the heavier portal covers were actually for the rear, and the fronts were the lighter versions because they had the bottom cut out to fit around the kind of C-hubs here with the portals. So that's why there was the variance in weight and structure on the portal covers, is because they are front and rear specific. So I opted just to put the fronts on. I did not put anything in the rear because I want that weight towards the front. So now that this is done, Let's get this on the setup table and the corner scales to see what we got for results, and then we'll hit the course to see how it translates into performance. All right, here we go with the test. We'll do the side hill first. We were right at 50 degrees with the prior setup, so here we go. 40, 45. Oh, 50 again. We gained nothing on the side hill. Let's try the vertical, see how we did here. We had a pretty strong vertical last time at 62. Let's see how this does now. $40, $50. $62 again. I pop off the table. Yeah, man, 62. Tried that 3 times and got the same thing. Now for the corner weight setup. So let's see. Last time we were at 54 front, 46 rear. Now we are at 56 front, 44 rear. So a modest gain in our distribution. Total weight now 568.7 grams. Prior we were at 511. So a decent gain in overall weight and a slight shift towards the front, although not as much as I was hoping. All right, here we go on the course with the upgrades. You guys are gonna have to let me know in the comments if you see a big gain here. We're gonna see if the numbers tell the whole story or not. I think we're gonna see some good gains on the course, but let me know what you think after the video. Fury Wagon was a beast before. I'm anxious to see what it's like now. Feels a little more planted right there. I feel like we got more lift going through that section last time. A different line here, pretty aggressive line up the canyon on this backside. It's able to stick it. It's pretty good. Coming down into mini Moab now. Let's hit the challenge lines. It's able to make quick work of the gatekeeper there. Able to avoid the understeer there on the escalator, make it a good clean run. Try some side hill, come across the base of the chute here. Getting a little bit of lean. Still sticking pretty well. Oh, that's pretty gnarly there. Able to stick and make it across. Let's try Hell's Gate here. Whoa, I actually understeered off to the side there, but still able to stick. I tried a different line there. I was able to make quick work of Hell's Gate. You know, off topic here, I really need to revamp my indoor course because trucks are getting so good now that they aren't really challenged by my challenge lines anymore. So I got to redo my course. But anyway, I'm pretty happy with the Fury Wagon. This was good to begin with, and I think we just made it a little bit better. I was really hoping for a little bit more in terms of performance, but I still think made noticeable gains there. The stainless links and everything look fantastic, and we did get some weight bias up front. So we made some forward progress, maybe not as much as I was really hoping, but definitely going in the right direction. Alright guys, I'm going to give you some bonus run footage here from Reckless Hobbies in Wareham, Massachusetts. I brought the Fury Wagon up there after putting all the upgrades on it and getting it ready, and unfortunately they didn't have any small scale, 24 scale or 18 scale crawler comps or even the course setup. So I ended up just taking the FX118 out for a rip on some modest sections of the 10th scale crawler course. So that's what I'm going to show you here. So I'm just going to let the footage go and you guys can check it out. I'll pop in and out with some commentary with some noteworthy items. But otherwise, enjoy the little FX118 shredding up the 1/10 scale course. This little thing with the Venom brushless motor and the ESC and everything is able to pull off some pretty good saves. I tumbled a couple times, but still able to recover from some pretty gnarly situations like that one back there. It was also right around this time I started to notice that my front tires were binding up on my bumper, and I found that odd because it wasn't a problem I'd experienced prior, and I thought I used the same linkage placements as I did before I swapped everything out. So I need to revisit the chassis and just do a little bit more tweaking. I think my upper link placement, both front and back, could use some adjustment, so I'll work on that in the coming weeks. Getting back to the binding issue, it actually didn't turn out to be the linkage or the chassis setup after all. What had happened was I lost both of the bolts on either side of the C-hubs underneath, so the portals were swaying back and forth with extra play and rubbing into the bumper and causing the binding. So note to self and others, use some blue Loctite when you put these things together. But overall, still a great time out there. Really impressed with how the Fury Wagon did on the 10th scale course, and I'm looking forward to taking it out there again. There you have it, my friends. The best out of the box RTR just gets better with a handful of upgrades from Furitek. The stainless steel linkage tightens up our steering, gives us some more weight down low where we want it. Those brass portal covers do the same thing. Again, give us some focused, unsprung weight right where we need it to give this thing some more performance, some more grip, and some more stability. The parts felt really good, nice and solid. The installation was easy. The assembly was no problem. They bolted right up. Very clean fit and finish. I was hoping to see a little bit more performance gains out of this, especially objectively on the setup table where we weren't able to gain hardly anything at all, except for a minor shift in our weight bias, which is good, but the side hill and the vertical stayed the same from the previous iteration of this truck. I do think that we made some good gains in actual performance on the indoor course, and that was amplified when we got this thing out on the rocks. So in real world situations and real world performance where it really matters, I think we made some good gains with these upgrades. This truck doesn't need a lot. A little bit of weight down low and up front. Utilize the adjustment that the chassis and everything already gives you, and you've got a very, very capable little truck here. And I like that Furitek continues to put out parts and pieces for this thing to continue to boost its performance. They aren't just resting on their laurels here with this RTR. So I'm excited to see where we can take this, and we'll continue to tweak it as we go along and as we get our hands on more mods. So we'll see what we can get out of it. I'll put the links in the description down below for the parts that we used in this video if you want to pick these up. And let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. What do you think of the Fury Wagon with the upgrades on it? Did you see a huge gain? And if you've got a Fury Wagon, what'd you do to yours to get the most out of it? And as always, I appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't done so, and I'll see you in the next video.